Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
What is going on, everybody? God bless. Welcome back to the Leadership Loophole. I'm O'Shea, and today we're talking about one of the biggest challenges for any business: how to scale without sacrificing quality. So here's a fact. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, only 30% of businesses survive past their 10th year. Why? Many grow too fast without a solid foundation. So let's dive into how you could scale smartly. See, scaling isn't just about selling more. It's about creating systems that grow with you. So let's start with operations, the engine room for any business. When we talk about scalable systems, we're talking about structures that work well with 10 customers and still work efficiently with 10,000. But here's the catch. Most systems break under pressure because they were never built for scale. So how do you build a scalable operation? Well, it starts with documentation. Every repeatable task should live in a standard operation procedure, or SOP. SOPs reduce knowledge silos, onboard new employees faster, and ensure consistency as you grow. Next, think about capacity. You don't want your best people stuck doing low-leverage work. Delegate and automate. Use project management tools like Asana, ClickUp, or Notion to systemize workflows. And most importantly, track your KPIs. If you can't measure it, you can't scale it. As Reid Hoffman, founder of LinkedIn, says, if you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. The same goes for your processes. Build them, break them, refine them. Next up, customer experience. Many businesses think customer experience is the cherry on top. In reality, it's the foundation for loyalty, retention, and referrals, which are all key to scale. The challenge is delivering personalized experiences at scale, and the answer lies in journey mapping and feedback loops. Start mapping your customer checkpoints, your customer touchpoints: onboarding, support, education, and renewal. What are the friction points? Where can you add delight? Then build systems to collect and act on feedback. Net promoter scores, customer satisfaction surveys, and product usage data are your friends. Tools like Intercom, Zendesk, and Typeform can help you gather those insights automatically. But don't confuse personalization with manual labor. Use segmentation and automated email flows to deliver tailored content. Think of this like Netflix, right? Everyone's dashboard is different, but the system behind it is the same. As Jeff Bezos famously said, we're not competitor obsessed, we're customer obsessed. We start with what the customer needs and work backwards. When you scale customer experience through systems, you're building trust that scales with you. Finally, let's talk about technology and automation, the ultimate force multiplier. The right tech stack doesn't just support scale, it enables it. So first, audit your current tools. Are they siloed or integrated? Are you duplicating effort between platforms? Look for opportunities to connect systems. CRMs, project management, marketing, and finance should all talk to each other. And use tools like Zapier to create automations across apps. For example, a new lead in your CRM can trigger an onboarding email, create a Slack notification, and schedule a follow-up task, all while without human input. And then there's AI. With tools like ChatGPT, you can create content, summarize meetings, generate reports, and even handle level 1 customer inquiries in seconds. But don't automate it for the sake of it. Automate for clarity, consistency, and capacity. One of my favorite quotes here is from Naval Ravikant. Play long-term games with long-term people using long-term systems. Technology is that system, and when used right, it frees your time to focus on what truly moves the needle. Pro tip: if you're drowning in manual work, ask yourself, can this process be automated, delegated, or eliminated? And you can't scale alone. You need a strong team. But hiring mistakes can be costly. Hire for culture and train for skill. It's one of the most transformative ideas in hiring. This principle flips the traditional hiring model on its head. Instead of obsessing over resumes and technical credentials, focus on values, mindset, and attitude. Because here's the truth: skills can be taught, but values are deeply ingrained. Think of it this way: if someone fits your culture, they're proactive, mission driven, and communicate well, you could teach them your systems, your tools, and even your industry. But if they don't align with your company's values, no amount of training will make them a good fit. Take Zappos, for example. They famously offer new hires $2,000 to quit after their first week of training. Why? Because they want to weed out anyone who isn't genuinely aligned with their culture. So ask yourself, do you know what your culture really is? Use the who, not how principle. Next up's a game-changing delegation mindset from Dan Sullivan's book, Who, Not How. And here's the core idea. Stop asking, how can I do this? And start asking, who can do this for me? Or who's better experienced or more skillful to be able to handle this for me? As entrepreneurs and leaders, we often get stuck trying to do everything ourselves. We see a problem and instinctively go into the how mode. How do I learn this software? How do I build this campaign? How do I fix this? But the question traps you into time-consuming tasks that keep you working in the business instead of on the business. When you shift to who, you unlock leverage. You bring in specialists, partners, or team members whose zone of genius is exactly what you need. You delegate the clarity and purpose. And most importantly, it's not about abdication. It's about intentional delegation. You're still responsible for the outcome, but you freed your time and mental space to lead, strategize, and scale. All right, so now you've hired people who align with your values, and you're delegating tasks to the right who's. So the final key to scale is empowering your team to make decisions. Micromanagement is the death of scale. If every decision has to come through you, your business can't grow faster than your calendar allows. Instead, build a system and train your team to operate within decision-making frameworks. Give them the context behind the company's goal and the trust to act and the feedback they need to grow. For example, Amazon has a concept called disagree and commit. Leaders are encouraged to debate decisions, but once a choice is made, they commit fully, even if they initially disagreed. That level of trust allows Amazon to move incredibly fast without waiting for top-down approvals at every step. So empowered teams take ownership, they move faster, they innovate more, and they create exponential scale. My bad. So how do these ideas work together? Well, hiring for culture, train for skill, ensures that you have people who believe in your mission and want to grow with you. Who, not how, frees how you focus on your highest value tasks while tapping into others' expertise. Empowering decisions creates a culture of trust and ownership, which multiplies your business capacity. These aren't just hiring and management tactics, they're scaling principles. When you implement all three, you create an organization where the right people are in the right seats. You're not the bottleneck, and your team can drive the business forward without consistent supervision. That's real leverage. That's how you scale. So let's face it, growth is exciting. New customers, new markets, more revenue, it all feels like progress. But scaling without a solid foundation can create serious cracks in your business. So let's break down 3 of the most common mistakes that companies make when scaling up and see how you could steer clear from that. Number 1, first up, is scaling too fast without the right infrastructure. It's tempting to ride the wave when demand spikes. But if your systems, people, or processes aren't ready, you'll hit a wall fast. Think of it like building a skyscraper on a weak foundation. It might look good from the outside, but one strong wind and it all comes crashing down. So here's how this shows up. Customer service quality starts dropping. Fulfillment delays increase. Team burnout skyrockets. And cash flow gets tight from overinvesting without planning. How do you avoid it? Plan ahead. Before you scale, ask, do we have the tech and tool to handle 2 times or 5x our current load? Is our team ready, or do we need to hire, train, or restructure? Are our processes documented and repeatable? Pro tip, don't scale chaos. That's a quote from Vern Harnish, author of Scaling Up. If your business is disorganized at the current level, growing it will only amplify this dysfunction. Lastly, neglecting company culture during rapid growth. When you're laser focused on KPIs and expansions, it's easy to forget the people behind the progress. But culture isn't a soft, fluffy add-on. It's the glue that holds your team together. A toxic or neglected culture leads to high turnover, poor communication, low morale, and inconsistent customer experiences. So here's what tends to happen. A startup begins with a close-knit team. As more people join, communication becomes complex. If leadership doesn't reinforce the mission, values, and culture, people start drifting and silos form. So here's how you can avoid it. Document your values. Make them clear and actionable. Hire based on culture and culture fit, not just resumes. Keep leadership visible and communicative. And celebrate behaviors that reflect your values. Culture scales, but only if you're intentional. As Peter Drucker said, culture eats strategy for breakfast. Ignoring customer feedback is something that you definitely need to make sure you don't find yourself falling into. It's the biggest killer mistake. As companies grow, there's often a shift from being customer obsessed to being product obsessed, or worse, internally obsessed. You build what you think people want, but not what they actually need. Some systems of this pitfall will result in dropping NPS scores, losing repeat customers, and a disconnect between marketing promises and actual delivery. So how do you avoid it? Keep a tight feedback loop. Use surveys, interviews, and social listening and support data to track customer sentiment. Make feedback visible. Share it in team meetings and product planning. And don't just collect feedback, act on it. Jeff Bezos famously leaves a chair empty at meetings to represent the customer. That's a symbol of how seriously Amazon takes customer input. You don't need to do that exactly, but you do need to keep the customer's voice in the room as you grow. So to recap, scaling successfully requires strong systems and automation, hiring the right people and delegating effectively, and avoiding common pitfalls like uncontrolled growth. My challenge for you, look at processes in your business today and ask, can I automate, delegate, or improve this for scale? Let me know your insights in the comments below. I'm O'Shea, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Audio
Peace.
Jungle.